Hey, it's Greg Burdine, pastor of Faith Baptist Church. Thanks for joining me for a devotion today. Hope you're having a good week as we get ready to ramp into springtime. It's just around the corner. Just this weekend, we'll be having springtime and enjoying some of the warmer weather as it comes around. I saw hearing the frogs, chirping in the wet outside the house, and I hear the birds. They're trying to build a nest in the tree beside me. Springtime is coming. The tulips are up about that big, and so it's on its way. It'll be here soon. Enjoy it. I want to share with you a couple of Bible verses from Sunday. I talked a little bit about the guilt that we sometimes feel over forgiven sin. That's real. That's real. I've met and counseled with people that have done some things that they're not very happy about, and they just can't believe that Jesus forgave it like that. In other words, they still feel guilty over what they've done, even though it's been forgiven. I understand that. I understand that you don't want to treat sin lightly, and I understand that you don't want to say very flippantly, "Oh Lord, forgive me for all those bad things I've done." Okay, now I'm good to go. But I just want you to know that you don't have to let that guilt weigh you down. Jesus's sacrifice, the horrible things that were done for him, paid for your sin. It's not flippant. It's not lightly. God doesn't take it lightly. But for us to feel guilty for sins that have already been forgiven by the death of his own son, let me just say it kindly, kind of slams against it, doesn't it? Isn't it kind of disrespectful to say, "Yeah, but God, but I've done these horrible things." And then for God the Father to say, "Yes, but you don't know how horrible of a thing was done to my son, so that this isn't yours anymore." This is what it says in Hebrews chapter 9. I want to read verse 13 and 14. It says, "For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctify the purifying of the flesh." In the Old Testament, they would come, they would lay their hands on an animal, basically kind of symbolically transferring their sin to that animal. And they would themselves take a knife and they would cut that animal and slay its blood and give it to the priest and put it in a bowl, and the priest would take it in and offer it to God as the payment for their sin. In other words, this is what my sin cost something's life, and here it is. And they left knowing that they kind of had done something, and they went away feeling better about their sin because their sin is now paid for. If an animal could do that, is what he's saying. Verse 14, "How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?" If that satisfies your conscience, how much more should the blood of Christ satisfy our conscience? So that we can no longer have dead works that really don't do anything to earn our salvation, but we can, I love what it says at the end, serve the living God. We can serve God. If you feel guilty about what you've done, can I encourage you to do this? Out of gratitude that God saved you and forgave you and wiped your slate clean, never to be remembered again. Put that same kind of an effort into serving him. That will help your conscience, and that will help you big time. Christ's sacrifice doesn't just change our status. It can begin to clean our conscience, our thoughts. It's not pretending you didn't sin. It's trusting Christ daily that his sin covered all my sins. Don't feel guilty about doing something that Jesus has already removed. Just serve him the best you can and make your life better. And it's a good prayer. Lord, cleanse me, my heart, from the guilt that I feel over the things that I have done, and let me serve you the best of my ability.